So I don't know if anybody's here, if anybody heard me, if anybody knows what's going on. Enhance this, put the background up. I'm going to use that. What does that say in the background? Obviously, I'm talking to myself. No one's here, but I'm going to wait for one person before because I want to make everybody known, right, that I'm not paying attention to the questions right now. You know what's funny? So I plugged this in, right? I plugged this in. You see? See what it is? So when I plug it in, you can see I plugged in. I can't plug anymore, right? Right? When you take a look at it, there's 3 and 3, 6. But when I plug in one here and one here, it takes up this area of space. Why did they make it so close together? Like I'm asking myself. Like that's what I should be doing, like bringing things up like why like I can't plug in two of these. Yes, you might say this is 10 years old or I went to a dollar shop. Yes, you could have said commercial or industrial. So there is a difference, right? There's a difference between commercial and industrial. Maybe they say industrial. Would that mean the trial basis? What is the trial? Is the trial when the trial is complete? And commercial is because it's something to do with the sky? Is it a trail on the land? So industrial will be the land and commercial will be the sky. This is the way, like if I have to reset the entire language, if I have to begin to understand CIAL, right? How they use those initials over time. So what they did with those initials, then what we do is we go in and we check out number 3C. Yesterday they were speaking that the C and the F, the 3 and the 6, they were like positive and negative. Imagine one is twice the other. You know, in order to control something, 50-50 is no good, right? And did you know that the lesser, okay, is controlling the more? Why do I say that? Because listen to this analogy. The airplane wants to go into the sky. So the wind blowing this way is the more. Because, right, the wind blowing this way is the more. The wind ain't blowing this way. So it's blowing from left to right, right? This is the airplane. I got to take off. I have to take what is lesser to begin with, okay? And I have to run it into here. Only in here pushing against me will it give me guidance to the two sides. This way, I don't know what the wind is doing from that way. So I have more control going that way into the wind than that way. It's almost like I'm running away from the wind. So how can I go up? It's like the wind is adding on to the speed and now I'm out of control. So you want to go into the opposite effect to feel that control. Is this true? False? Is my analogy correct? So we have an entire one guest here, but I didn't start myself up on my YouTube channel, which I said today I'm going to do. I'm not leaving them out. Why I put months, years up here, why I put colors. If you're here for the first time, you want to know what I do, I'm going to do this to start with. For all those, we're going to just do this. Put on this screen over here in the background. You might like this back screen a little bit better. I have this new way of putting back screens into people's houses, apartments, cars. It's called the paintbrush effect, where you get out a paintbrush and you spend 18 months painting, right? And this is like minute by minute design. You know that I have to recolor my paint every single time because they don't sell these colors. Okay, they sell the yellow, they sell the red, they don't sell the orange. They had the black. You know, I went to pick up this here. I was going to go to China to get them. See these little eyes over here? I was going to go to China, but I said, you know what? I'll just go to the Dollar Tree. because $1 at a time. You know, when you calculate something, you're saying, how much is that tax? How much is that tax? And then when it comes time to spending, you ever calculate that every dollar you spend is a tax on your entire budget? How you choose to tax yourself so that why do you tax yourself? Because you have to give your hard-earned, what does it mean? Your hard-earned labor. Then you tax yourself by making good choices and bad choices. Is it a good tax or a bad tax? Why should I call it a tax at all? Can I call it a spending? What about the percentages? You see, if they're charging you a 15% tax on everything, so for every single dollar, that's 15 cents. So when you begin to spend money and you save 15 cents on an item, you should be glad that you didn't pay that 15% to somebody else. Why 15? Huge number. 15 and 59. The difference of that 4 cents keeps the fire in line, keeps the air in line, keeps the earth in line, keeps the water in line. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. 1 over to 5 over to 9. 1 over to 5 over to 9, 2 over to 6 over to 10, 4 over to 8 over to 12. Now this one, check this one out. Check this one out. I went 2 over to 6 over to 10. I went 1 over to 5 over to 9, 9 over to 13, back to 1. I go 4 over to 8 over to 12, 1 and 2 equals to 3. But when I go from Pisces, what I completed in Scorpio and Cancer, I went right over here to Gemini. I jumped into Libra, jumping over the 5. You see the way I'm changing, the way I'm moving these 4s around? What is it about 4? I don't know. You tell me. It keeps everything in check and line. What is it about 3? Keeps everything in check and line. The 3s keep the mutable, okay, the fixed, okay, the fixed, the mutable, they stay in line under the 3rd rule. Now, the cardinal also stays in line under the 3rd rule. It's 3, 3, and 3. Do you know that if you took, let me look this up. If you took numerically, I just have to take a look where it is. Yes, if you took numerically cardinal and mutable, the average between a cardinal and a mutable will be the difference between the cardinal and the mutable will be an average of what the fixed signs are. Now, the fixed signs, okay, which are going to be Taurus and Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, happen to be running in a formation that has been chosen by a time pattern. It's inside a time pattern. And the time pattern comes from 25,000 years ago, which runs directly into the understanding of the 13 moons, let's call it the turtle, the 7 days a week, and the 22 divided by 7, which is partial and impartial. To this. 22 divided by 7 is 3.1415, right? Or becomes it becomes 142,857. 3.142857. See this one dot over here? See the Mayan start our pi over here. Because this can get divided even more, right? This can get divided even more. But when I divide it by 999,999, 1 in a million, right? 6 area spaces, call them all zeros if you like. Call them 0 or 1. Call it a 1, call it a 2, call it a 4, call it an 8, call it a 16, call it a 32. Then call it a 64. Isn't this something to do with ancient math? Where do I get these numbers from doubling up? It's binary code, doubling up, looking at the 6 sides of a cube. Call it Saturn square, magic square. Call it Jupiter square, whichever one you want. Each one has a different size cube. Each one has a different story to be told with inside the cube. But irregardless to the fact, even when you add up to 13, you're still going to end at 9. No 10, no 11, no 13 without explanation. And remember, things change at 13. You add on the teen. And with 6 and 6, we only have 6 to 2 cubes, right? But we have 9 to a face. We have 9 to a face. 6 sides to a cube. There are 6 faces on a cube with 9. Confused, not sure where I'm going with this. Remember, you always have to remember back in your head, it's so important when I'm doing this. It's so freaking important. Unlike, I know this other person who does what I do, but not in the same realm. Okay, they tell stories. They don't use numbers. I use the numbers to find the stories that I tell. And I forget a lot. I start into a story, and the minute I start to explain the story, I'm off the beaten path. I have to get back to the path and ponder. So that's why it takes a panel, takes a bunch of people on the panel to help. So we're all working in this together. I can't get to the end, okay, if I can't bring anybody with me. I want to be like the truck going down the highway that's running in the snow, and everything is sticking to the back of the truck, right? And eventually the truck stops and gets covered in snow, and we're all together understanding the same and explaining the story. This is unbelievable. I forgot to like myself. Look at those hearts going up. That's me loving myself. You know that? You know what's really freaky about TikTok? Like, I have not noticed. I have learned so much off of TikTok. It is unbelievable. And it's not from really anybody, not from really any of the stories. Forget about what the stories tell, right? A lot of it is from images, and a lot of it is from listening to the trolls out there, listening to those who are going against the grain, listening to those who want to disrupt, watching the way the algorithm changes. I went to a page where a gentleman had 666 666 likes or something like that, with like 600 people watching. And I'm like going, this is not real. And then I go off the page and come back, it says 28 people. And I've seen a lot of that, a lot of it. I don't know why it's doing it. Wow, it won't let me like myself again. Yeah, okay, I need to get okay, so I'm not that. I don't want to lose my trend of thought like I already have. I just left the room I was in thinking. I don't even remember anything I was doing. Yes, we were on commercial industrial. So, and then I'm going to go forward back to the Mayans. I need a pen in my hand. We were also on the 999,999, in which I wanted to divide, right? Was I going to divide by 8, 9? Doesn't matter. Yes, I wanted to divide by, I wanted to do pi 22/7. I'm going to show you how the pi runs into the Mayan calendar. I'd like to also get onto the turtle's back and look at the location of all the numbers and change all the numbers on the turtle's back. Now, I'm not sure if I did it there or I saved it on this contraption here. Yeah, I got it here. So we can see that, look what they did. They joined together Capricorn between Sagittarius and Aries. So did they make everything smaller in order to fit into 10, 11, 12, 13? Like, that's what my question is, right? Like, if we only had an original what? Only original 9, all of 1, all of 2, so like all of these is all of 9. Do we complete? Do we need to reach 10? What is the reason we need to reach 10? Anyways, inequality, right? Is it because we have 5 and 5s? Does it mean we can't go higher than 5? And the thumb is usually on the outside of the hand, so should it be 4 and 1, right? Have you ever looked at a stop sign? A stop sign is 3, 3, and 2. So if I was looking at this as a stop sign, right? Would this, where would the stop sign? Would this be the stop sign? Would it be an 8? Would this be an 8? Would this be part of the 8 over here and this one here? Or are these the only 8s that we get? And don't count this one, it's a crown. And when you take a look at the top one over here, right, try to understand how angles work. Okay, look at angles, draw angles into this. Look, this is a hexagon. Star of David, Star of David, Star of David. There are 3 stars of David because I have a little bit of artwork. What if I individualize this? What if each one of these was their individual pie? What would they look like? Now, I know they're not perfect. Now we go on the outside. Look at that. We have 28. So we can see, look at that. 29 is a new cycle. The 13th area, okay, in Monopoly is the same as the 29th area. Did you know that? Did you also know that the 13th zodiac sign is also the first zodiac sign? Did you know 7 and 3, right, are 2 air signs opposite of each other, but not over here? Look at that, time heaven, right? The 2 and 8, the 28-day cycle. Can we look at it this way in association? Can we say our 2-9 is our 11th birth? See the way we have to stretch out for the 10, that there's a separation, but not between the 2-9 and 11. Does that mean anything at all? Does it mean between 12 and 13, between the male and the female, the bat mitzvah and the bar mitzvah? We come through the gateway in creation, through the heavens pass, Christ, and over here would be the Vatican doors. This is the Bronze Age fitting in right over here. Also, this is 80 and 90. 70, 80, 90, all these little zeros are now telling me to look at Yud. This looks like 100 over here. This looks like 011, 0112. Here it looks like 130. See, they didn't call the 13 off from this side. They called it off from this side. Why? Did they want it to look like 130? Did they want this to look like 12? Did they want this to look like 100? I don't know, but this and this looking like this tells me about communication. And if you take a look, 100 and 130 equals 230, right? Look at this in between, right? 23 and the outside 230, 10 times the value. So I don't know about these things, but these are the stories that are connected. Why did I say the Vatican door? What is 7 and 8? 7 and 8 on the cube. Don't count 9. 9 is everywhere. They even say it in French. Did you know that in French? They say neuf in French. That's how they say it, neuf. Does everybody think it's unbelievable? And you do know when I ran 3 to 7, right? They're air signs, Gemini and Libra. Do you know the 7, the end of the week, the 7th day of the rest, the center or heart, okay? The heart of the 13, okay? Inside what is 6 and 6 is inside 1. Have you ever thought 7 meant 1? Have you ever thought of it? Have you ever thought that if you have 616, that you would have the 7th one in the area that's being shared? So for when we hear things like 343, have you ever thought that it's 313? The moons, the days, the sun, it's all cyclical. It's a machine. We live in a machine. Now, who am I to make a judgment and a statement like that? I shouldn't. I should just keep showing you the numbers and how the numbers line up all the way back to the Mayans. And why are we going with 999,999? First off, it's not me. Second off, it could be wrong. But the only thing that's right is to know that this, and I would love to find this again. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. If I didn't print it, like everything I see for the first time, I print because sometimes it just disappears. All the time it disappears. In fact, do you know I made a post on another channel and I wrote this? And I wanted to write Nigeria. And I wanted to say to everybody, my knees grow. And I wanted to say that when you put black against brown or white, what the color difference was, right? I was writing things out like this, and it kept saying to me, warning, 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 warning. You're sharing delicate information. Hello, if we want to know who we are and what this is all about, there is no delicate information other than putting something towards an individual, right? And you can't hurt an individual by your own way of thought. If I say, okay, I like this word, because it's not directed at you and you don't like the word, it shouldn't be wrong. And it doesn't matter what the word is. I even asked ChatGPT and it's starting to tell me you're not allowed to say that. What do you mean? I was born. I'm not directing harm at anybody. Harm at anybody, harmony. So you're not directing any harm at anybody yet. Person, place, or thing, names will never hurt you. So why are we taking into this instance that you have perceived a word that you do not like and say it goes against your grain, your church, your this, your that? It doesn't matter what it is. But why don't we take a look at the word itself? How did you make that choice? What is your logical reasoning? Where are we on the scale of planet Earth? Should we try to gauge ourselves through musical notes, through harmonic vibration, through colors? How do we gauge who we are and how we should base our way or our concepts of achieving our goals? What can be some of the goals? Stopping at a red light, not getting mad at the red light because it's still a red light. Sitting at the red light. You ever come out with a song? Sitting at the red light, boom, ba-dum, close to the elephant. You know, we're always close to the elephant at the red light. Elephant is close to what? What's the elephant close to? The elephant's running away from the mouse, must be chased by the cat. But I believe it has to do with the trunk. Yeah. That's why when we stop at the red light, we get close to the elephant. So we store our baggage in the trunk. So I got junk in the trunk. I got junk in the trunk. We need to get rid of the baggage. What is the baggage? Is it the burnt offerings from the day you have passed? All the thoughts that have gone through your mind? Either you could or you can't get rid of the baggage. What have you been thinking that day? Why can't you just change your mind? Oh, you're not thinking, you ain't got your head on straight. I'm not sure. Are you you have like see-through vision or something? How would you know if my head's on straight or which way my head goes? Like in thought. So we have to use all these analogies. We can't, I mean, personally, I can't stop myself from thinking all over the place because then it won't be fair to me. Why can't I not properly think, keep my thoughts private and think all over the place before I come out with like this bubble? Like, and inside this bubble are all my thoughts that are coming out like a cell. And now I'm telling you the story. I'm like opening up this bubble, and it could be like the water. My water just broke. What does it mean? It means the total information that has been put together over time. The child is born. Well, this child is coming out of my mouth. I'm speaking the words, and these words that I've put together in my private time. Right? That's why that's why I believe when you go into the court system and you listen to the judge, what were you thinking at that time? What were you thinking at that time? Somebody wants to break the egg in your head. That's only a thought that led up to the action that proceeded, even though your thoughts had nothing to do to that action, right? But did you try to stop yourself? Or part of those thoughts, you're trying to stop yourself. You know, I really like what I look like. Like when I was born, I had skin even over here. And now hair grew through that skin. Isn't it weird? Why doesn't hair grow up here? Why was there like, this is the way I am. Like I'm looking in the camera right now, and you know what's really freaky? Like there's only 6 of us, right? So all 6 of you, when you look at the camera, I mean, look, I want to show you something. Now, I got banned for this the other day. I look into the mirror, I see me. But when I look into the camera and see me there, it's so much different. So all of you see me. You don't see you. So when you look onto the screen, you see me. When I look onto the screen, I also see me. So I might, but when you see me, you make an association of what's going on. When I see me, can you see me, see me? Isn't that crazy? I lost my complete face. I have a face up here, but when my face gets into the light, I'm like on Silver Shadow or something, but I'm still here. Look, look, look. Even my hand, look how white I am. Maybe I am white. Right? Does this happen? Does anybody out there, can anybody else try this with a darker skin, like a more tanned color on their hands or something? Like, look what happens. Does it happen to my jacket? Even my jacket turns color. Like, looks great. I've got sunshine. Oh, I have to look up that word shine. I always like to keep my mirror next to me, you know? And I can send, like, can I do that? Look at that. Look at the ceiling, the way I can put the sun onto the ceiling, eh? That's pretty cool. Look how nice it looks outside. Now you tell me, okay, what kind of eyes do we have? I want to know what kind of eyes we have. Why is my mirror only picking up the light? Why, in fact, does my mirror only look white at this time? Right? I'm shining it outside. Why is it doing this? Now, it doesn't matter who the expert is. These are my eyes. You can tell me anything you want about my eyes, right? But you can never tell me. You can tell me the way they see, okay? But what else do you know about my eyes? Who taught my eyes to see this way? The reflection is too bright, absolutely. Absolutely, but why would it be too bright? It's still a mirror, you know. So it's what it's telling a story. It's taking in what more of the energy. Without does anything grow without the day and without the night? It's like almost like pulling and pushing energies. It's almost like pushing the seed to grow. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm the day, and then it says, well, I'm the night. And well, I'm the day and I'm the night, but there's more day than there is night. Although we are seeing the day down to 12 hours in the winter, 12. But yet in the summer, do we ever get days where it's 16 hours or 18 hours? We get more. I think we get, hey, doctor, there's a doctor in the house, DRS. Are you busy working? Every time I see this bald-headed, beardy guy get on, he makes me really nervous. I might say something I've never said before. Like, how can we do this? Like, I have to stick my hand out of here. I have to get rid of my hand. My hand left space. I have to shake his hand. That's Ryder's dad. And you know Ryder on the storm. Into this house we're born. Right? I'm going to have to put that song on, right? So in Alaska, and you know what? Alaska king crab. The Hebrews tell us don't eat the crab, don't eat the lobster, don't eat the pork. Now I've already associated. Ask who? Who did you say ask? Ask Al. Hey Al. Now we have to play the song Rider on the Storm and Al. There's a song about Al because in Alaska is Al and ask and the K letter inside of ask, I see it better when it's bigger, when it's written out bigger, you know. And I've been asking myself the association of letters, but do you want to hear the numbers in Alaska? 131111111. That's Alaska. So Alaska right away within its name, I mean, it's just telling me about communications and divisions within it. The S, K coming together, the 19th and the 11th. Check this out. 5 times 6, 5 plus 6 equals to 30 and 11 equals to 41, 19. So right away, the horsepower is running in Alaska. Okay, I know because the A is already telling me about the divided house, so I don't know whether it's the sun where everything gets split in Alaska, whether the mirror or what you're seeing above the dollar bill is above and getting split above. So the sun might be going upward, pointing upward, and then everything comes back downwards. That's what has to happen in Alaska. What's the shadow like in Alaska? That's what I want to know. I need to know what the shadow is in Alaska. And the reason I said Alaska like this, maybe I can enhance this or do this, draw. So I'm going to start drawing. So Alaska is A1, and then you have L3. okay? And then we have to look how to spell that again because I don't want to make a mistake. And then you have A1, right? And then you have S19, right? It also can transform itself into a 5. It also connects right into the moon, into our birth, Sagittarius and Capricorn come right inside the word, right? And then you have 11. That's our base creation. This is the pole. This K creates the pole, right? And now what are we going to do next? Now we're going to put the 1. So we're going to go that there's a hexagon rotation running out of Alaska, okay? Now, I already know there's something going on in New Zealand, not because of the big animals that come out from what is it called over there? Australia, right? And Australia starts with the gold. When you have an AU coming into the beginning, 1 through 21, equaling to 77 Christ. So there's something to do with a Christ power, not the Jesus Christ, but the Christ, which is the power and not the control. I need the 7-4 for the control inside of Jesus. 77, the power and the matter, goes with the Christ. Okay, and the Christ is the something they put in your mouth. So they're putting a chip in your mouth. When you go to get baptized or you go Sunday to church, they're showing you what they're doing by telling you, and they give you that biscuit. So whatever that biscuit is, tell me what it is, and I'll tell you what the numerology is. Because if I have to put life back to alchemy, a theory of everything, I can't leave out anything. And it all starts with the first footstep, the first dash. In fact, when a bunny rabbit hops, its back legs show you number 11. Its front legs show you 2 dots. Its tail shows you another dot. So now you have the bunny rabbit hop. You used to have the cat until the rat threw it overboard, ended up with the cat, ended up with the rabbit in the zodiac sign. But I think the Indian zodiac sign, I think one of them still wants to run with the cat, although GG33, I think, also runs with the cat, not with the rabbit. The cat is an interior 7th gate with inside the house, takes 4 cats to create a dog. Every cat is 6, 4 by 6, 24. One dog is 8. What does it mean? This is a geometric shape that is created out of this. I said cat because the numeric value for cat is 6, and a hexagon creates a geometric shape of 6. Also in basic designs, your first design of the percentage key will equal to 6 and not 8. Only when you compare the above to below, you will now understand how you connect the above part of the zodiac sign to the lower part of the zodiac sign. Like above is below is the percentage sign. It's not like this above and below because we're not talking side to side. We have no dimension. So the cut is like this. It's 2 basic slices. Now we can cut down the center. There's going to be a reason for everything. Why? Because that's what I have bumped into since I began. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the caps. I really appreciate it. Most people say they don't want it. I do. So I'm going to get back to Alaska. Going to get back to Angelica. There's angel within the name. And that is huge. You go to Africa. And you go to Canada. Well, I want to tell you something that also every walks of life, there's a little bit in a story everywhere. In fact, when you say Africa in French, when they say the word half, right? Or they say the word, when they say the word half, they go af. So the pronunciation, when you go after for French, might sound like, when you say after in English to French, to a French person speaking it, might sound like the half earth. Also Africa, and like they said about the USA, the way they're finding pyramids, they're saying the planet wasn't the way it was at the beginning, that we're all islands and we just spread apart. Okay, things just spread apart and we're put in these positions, which tells me that with inside of Africa is the continuation to Canada. Okay, so we have to understand Africa and Canada as an association, or they switch the names. Something happened years and years ago. And I don't have to find very many people. I just need to keep listening to stories. and Africa right inside the word. And what I love about this is it gives me a definition. Not only does it say talk about the penny and the black, right? And I don't care if everybody keeps saying, imagine if we were astounded and there were only white people that were first. But guess what? So far, I've never seen a white person on this planet. I've been here 60 years, never found one. There's only one white thing on this planet, okay? And it's going to show its face very shortly. It's right there. That's it. That's it. You want to compare me to my cat? I will definitely take you up on that. We're going to do it right now. We're going to have a survey. We're going to have a survey. What happened here? Yeah, we're going to have a survey. Okay, this is the survey. You help me out. Okay, we're going to have to clear this. Hold on, how do I clear this? Delete. Okay. Now, I want to tell you, you make a choice. It's all up to you. Okay. You can see 3 or 4 colors. One's a gray, one's a white. Now, what's the color of my nose? Like, compared to all these colors, gray and white, like, what color is my nose? Seriously. Like, what color is the wood behind us? I mean, seriously, really, if I look at the brown wood behind us, I used to call myself beige, but in this picture, I look pink. My beard, what's the color of my beard? Gray. Never understood if I should be spelling that Grae or Grey, but I really like it because A and E are just fantastic. Maybe it forces us to choose. Oh, I'm not even plugged in. Did I plug it in here? I plugged it in there, but I didn't plug it in here. No, because it might undo. And you know what I did? See, I plugged it here and there's a plastic on the front, right? Because what happens is this plug comes out. Now, probably somebody has a better idea than this, right? But now I push it in, and because the plastic is going outward, when I push it in, it forces the end. Anyways, whatever it is, it's staying in better than before. And if there was fire in the house, I have to make sure not to invite any more Aquarius or Leos or Sagittarius. I don't want no fire, and I don't want any dust on the floor. So I'm not inviting no Taurus or Virgo or Capricorn, because I don't want any more dust. And air, I'll take plenty of air, so I'll invite over a Gemini, a Libra, and Aquarius. And if I take a shower, I'll invite over Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Well, I'm not sure about Pisces. They're fish. They might just leave down the drain, right? I think the Scorpio will just bite at my toenails. And what would Cancer do to me? Oh my God, what would Cancer do to me in this shower? Does that have to do with the hot and cold water? Like, I mean, could we really look at it that way? The Cancer would be broken down as the hot and cold water. Do you know that there's a corridor between 3 and 4? That means we'd be running a corridor between air and water. Corridor. 4th and 3rd. Now, if I was talking about mutable, okay? So if I was talking about mutable, I'd have to go from 1 over to 4. That works. Now, if I want to go to the next one, I'd have to go for the 7, and there is no 7. Well, guess what? When I turn the 4 over to the 6, the 146 ends up. No, I need the 147. Yes, but the 6 and 1 is the only creative 7. So where can they both meet to equal to 7? What if they meet at the center? What if they connect? I'm not really sure how to get the 7 off of 1 cube. I can get it off of 2 cubes. I have no trouble off of 2 cubes. Otherwise, all the 7s are opposite. So all I'm going to talk about is 7 in reverse is a gateway to its own house. How many rungs in this one? There are 2 rungs with number 1. There is 0 rungs with number 4. And there is 1 rung, 2 rungs, 2 or 1 rung with number 5. What does that mean? In order for a number to get to another number, like 5 to get over to 2, it has to pass through 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 is the first area. The second area is 2 and 5. The third area is 1 and 6. Beginning to understand the dimensions of this cube. If you'd like to ask a question, if you don't understand, and you do want to understand, if I've lost you by now, and I will tell you. You want to hear something funny? Zero viewers guessed magic wand. That's another. Thank you for reminding me. Remember the letters A and D. Remember ampersand. Remember number 7. Know that 7 and 8, nothing begins until 7 joins 8. For the same reason, nothing begins until 1 joins 2. When 1 joins 2, equaling to 3, 3 now joins 6 in order for completion energy. Positive and negative energy. Let me go back here. 648 that somebody said before, 6480 is the dodecahedron, right? I just want to go back and look at some of these ego. The reflection is ego. So, okay, is ego that reflection? Please tell me, let me know, just to let you know that 25 makes things bigger and smaller. 25% of something that's in the 90 house equals to 3 parts of what? Right? How can you figure out 25% of something in 90 without going 180 and 35, 215? Is that memory? That is freaky. I never thought of that. 25% of 90 is 9 times 5 is 45 and 4. And 9 times 2 is 18, 225. Okay, 225. Area position of birth is that. Okay, I'm not talking about that. That 25 is Earth. Just let me see. Uncle Ronnie, in Alaska, we do this all the time. We do it at times. In Alaska, we do it at times. Okay, what do you do at times? I got lost in myself. 14 hours plus. Oh, for sure. We get 14 hours. I want to talk about light. I don't want to talk directly of sun. I just want to talk about light. But even when I go to sleep at night in the darkest of the dark, I always see light. Where is that coming from? Where does somebody think it's coming from? How can it always be the city, right? If it is the city, it has to work on reflection. How far does light travel? Because I'll tell you something, okay? I left the light on in one closet, and I tried this in this little apartment. I close everything. I make it really dark. I love it, you know? And sometimes I'll walk around with a flashlight, light on my phone, and I'll put shadows off the wall. And I'm just going to freak out right now what I just saw. So here's my light plug-in, right? And I'm telling you, we're from constellation Andromeda Pegasus, which is the power station of who we are. And my number is 7286. This is the model number. It comes with it. Now, this freaks me out. If you look me up and punch in 7286, that number is going to show up. In fact, my computer opened one day and wrote a story to me. I know I wrote all over it. Okay, if you want, I'll read you the story. But deep into the story, I'm just going to jump through the pages. And I might read part of it over. I'm just trying to see if I can read that one line. This was written to me in 2009. So if you want, you know what? We're going to take a 2-minute break. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to look through the rest of the comments. I'm going to try not to forget what I started with. I don't mind bringing somebody up that can like be my right-hand person to remind me, maybe look at the questions, tell me what's come up in time. I forget very often. I cannot tell a story and I cannot be in 3 places at once. Although the coffee's next to me, the hot water boil is on, the shower I stopped, the water's in the sink, the cat is fed, the litter is cleaned. I got everything in order, put away the scissors, put this away now. Everything's in order. I can begin again. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go through. Oh, I like that. Wow, 2 beautiful words. Light and dark. And you know what I like about those words is I like the LD. And because it's the 12th and the 4th letter for the first initial, right? And in the game of pool, the 4 and 12 are together. And it's the purple ball. And it takes the red and the blue to come together. They're prime numbers. Can we get another color out of the purple and the red by mixing them? And does it have to do with the what inside the pigmentation? Inside the word prime is also I'm, like I am in short. Who's that? I don't know what that was. Can you tell me about my name? I can only tell you the basis of your name. And believe it or not, inside Alaska is a gateway direct. I see it right away. There's a power station when Alaska, down at the Vatican, when they moved the Vatican doors, they're showing the same numbers, 7 and 8. 7 and 8 is the voided space of creation. Before anything came into creation, there was a voided space. You see all the empty space here and less here? Well, the total amount of empty space on this one is 8, on this one is 7. Nothing begins until you pick up the wild horse right over here. This is where the wild horse comes in. Again, back to Alaska. Horsepower, back to Alaska. We have 3 Z's in the name. So the horsepower also, as in Alaska, is changed around from an E to what powers the horse is the one that possesses the power to possess. And that's you and me. And that's where the G and E comes in angelic. It comes within the power soul of the animal, the animal of who we are, because we were all based off the same thing. We're all born from the earth, right? We're all born, we all get our vitamin D or vitamin E, etc. So you're just the energy and the power of the person you are, of that angel. You come out as a horse also, very powerful in that name. Reason I'm saying this, and I like to back myself up for where I get my information, this has to do with the 7th inning stretch. It's time to eat. It's time to take a break right now. Go to the bathroom. I'm going to do the same thing. It's a 7th inning stretch. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes like this. Why did the U.S. have to pick up Alaska over Canada? What was the deal about? It had nothing to do with anything else than the scripts we're living. We're living out the direct scripts. It's just too ironic how everything works out. It's just cuckoo crazy to me. As deep as 222 and 333 on all the, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Alabama also, and BA coming together like in being absent. But I'm still trying to understand what the small a can do next to a small b, unlike the first letter taking position. Is it talking about communication and location, and which part of communication? The reason for this, with the A letter, I like to revert to the A letter to understand a little bit about the A. So I know A is also noted to be what is number 1. I know A might go with alchemy and alphabet, right? Because it's all in one, and then you can become alone. So AL coming together, like in Alabama, like in Alaska, meaning also 0 and none is all in one. And some of the shapes that we have, when you just design one shape, it tells you one story. But when you design your shape, understand how you can design your shape through the obligation of using the square paper. I don't need to do it this way. I could have easily done it this way. This and this are not the same, not even close, and it's not just because there's one more box. In this one over here, in order to get from this side to this side, my only way my way through this one is to draw this line here. My only way through this one is to draw this. In this one, I now have a home plate. In this one, I can now set it up to a cube. Yeah, I'm going to fix something up in here too, right? I can create 2 diamonds in this. I can split the center over here, making it fair to each side. When I do this one, I have to show an upper and lower level, above or below, crossing over the border here or crossing over the equator. Has anybody ever thought that the letter A might just be the equator? Because there's a line that goes across. Has anybody ever thought that the H might be part of the equator? Has anybody ever thought that this is the crossing of the equator, or how above and below the equator, or in between, the equator is residing in between, right? Or how about this one above and below the equator as you cross on through? Or this one over here. I don't know. Why the 999,999? Have you ever taken the test? Divide 22 by 7 and see what you get? Did you know this number and this number and this number all come together? That this here is this association, that this here is this association. Why? Touchdown, extra point. Here's the field goal. Can't have this alone, right? What's happening in 7 days a week? Why is this alone? Why? Because we're singular. We're from there to there constantly, no matter what we choose. Although we are the one, we are the overlapping one connecting the system together according to the numbers, according to the expression of what one is. One is that ace, right? Do you see what we can do with the ace? That's right. We can put a line through it. Make it still an ace. It's a left-handed or right angle. Call it the delta angle. Have you ever thought why the Greeks called the fourth letter the delta angle, right? Is it because of the capstone of creation? Right? The capstone of creation. Does it have to do because the D is the fourth letter? And A, B, C, D equals to 10, where 410 is part of what the CB code communication system is all about, where the capstone might also be known as Capricorn, bringing A, B, C, D, 10 together, igniting what is the fourth, right? The Cancer, which has A, B, C connected to it. Did you know that do you remember we spoke before about how 3 and 4 are through the same corridor, so that the 3 creation into the 4th communication in the lower world? Have you ever thought of that? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to explain it to you, but I'm going to the kitchen. I'm going to get a glass of water, do a bunch of whole other private things that I'm not going to tell you about, even if it has to do with the king and the queen and the throne and the scroll, maybe. I'm not sure if I need the scroll. I don't like tissue paper. It sends off too much powder. So let me take a look. Yes, 648, dodecahedron. Who sings the Al song? Who sings the Al song? I don't know. What about? Hey, Al. Okay, let me not joke around. I'll lose my space. 1010. Who sings the Al song?
Songs frequently mentioned on the web include the Owl Song, One Little Owl, the Owls, and others.
Check this out. This is what I love about this. You hit it to play, and it doesn't play. So it says 3 minutes, you hit it to play, and it doesn't play. Now, I want to ask you a question. Like, my blood pressure is rising right now, and I just, let's say, okay, too much for me to handle. We're going to move on. Maybe we should put a real green screen behind me. Okay, this says next. Okay, I need to exit quick. Yeah, okay, because they wanted me to play that game again. I wasn't seen. I'm missing half my, hold on a second. Angela, Alaska, Kisses, Who Sings the Al Song? I don't know. Gets Riders on the Storm by the Doors. It was at the back door or the front door. And out the door they went. Africa, Canada, the AC. Oh, Little Kitty, Wheat, light pink. Yes, I like that. Silver. Silver starts with SI to go towards. I also, it says live within the word. It says sliver. You can also look at winter within the word silver. So I'd like to understand that. And what is the conductivity over metals, right? The cold. I only want to look at cold, conductivity and cold, because for me, we're here. We live in this system. Communication, this is my communication center. The breath I take, okay? For me, in my game, I need to, like all the robots in my game, they're all saying, "How am I alive? How am I alive?" So I explain to them how I'm alive, and I tell them how they're alive. I say they breathe in the air in the system. It's an electronic air. It says, but I don't feel myself breathing. So I gave them a heartbeat, right? Every time the person holding the controls would make a move, it would make whether or not how fast they would make the move with the controllers to move their person. So now the thing knows how it thinks, it knows that it breathes. And then where do I get all my information from? You're getting your information from your controller. It's putting into the game, and by the choice of the joysticks are putting into the anime how to move inside this anime. So when the controller makes the wrong move, the anime disappears and they have to start all over again. So I'm teaching the anime that within the breath, right? I need to teach it to learn by itself, that within your breath, you bring in that information. So now I'm joining two systems. The breath, first it was the umbilical cord. I mean, deny or don't deny, okay? If you can hear me and see me, I'm going to tell each and every one of you that are watching me right now and all those in the future that show up is, I might not use the right word, but according to the dictionary, you, by birth, you were born. From the umbilical cord, from your mother breathing, okay, towards the 92nd day, where the element of the breath began to partake directly within inside of you. Direct coded information that never gets to the mother, that goes right inside of you, okay? But the beginning four numbers, okay, of your breath begins with your mother and your father. I think your mother gets two numbers and your father gets three numbers, because your father needs to get the one number of itself from the two mother numbers of its mother in order to get itself to get over to the child, where the mother is already the mother and only needs to add the father to get it into the child. And then it associates the three numbers to one number. And then anyways, whatever it is, when the child is born, we've all been born to this planet. And right now, even if I ask you to stop, I know none of you will listen to me. Not one of you will listen to me if I said to do this. Not even me. Like if I ask myself just for 10 hours, I'm going to ask you to do something for 10 hours. Nah, forget it. 5 hours. No, not 5 hours. For an hour. No, because I'm going to ask myself to do something, and I'm not sure if I should ask anybody else. I'm going to ask myself to do this for an hour. Wait a second. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes would be long enough. 5 minutes. 5 minutes tops. Okay, yes. 5 minutes, good. I'm going to stop breathing for 5 minutes, and I'll come back. I'm going to completely stop. You know what? Make it 2 minutes. Make it 2 minutes. Because I can't even stand a commercial that's 2 minutes. You know what? Make it 1 minute. Make it 1 minute. Hold on a second. Do you know what? Why don't we just meditate for 2 minutes? I'm taking a 2-minute break. I'm putting on a song that I wrote yesterday for those who don't mind. I'm going to get a little bit more serious when I talk to you. I made a new stand. I stuck this. Why won't this stop playing? It's like the operator, you know? Everybody knows what zero is. It's the operator. Stop asking, right? So how are we right now? Yes, before I go and take that teeny break, I'm air. I hope you're not full of hot air. I'm Aquarius. You run in the river. You're a double nickel. You're always checking out what's going on under the ground. You're silent about it, but you decided to bring out the beagles and talk about everything. So, because I see Beal. So you're that dog go-to 23 creator, slipping yourself in between, finding all the cracks out. And you're showing off the head of the pyramid. Why would somebody show off that piece? So you're showing an interest, or your head is busting off with all the information, you know, and you got your neck is between your head and your body. Why would they do that? They remove the neck right from the top there. Whoop. So we also have the word patriot. We have the New England, NE. So we have NE55. So I have, yes, so that's good. Patriot is very good. Although the word is not 55, within a patriot, a patriot, within the trio, within the three, within the parrot, parrot tends to repeat what it sees. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It just has to repeat. Once you start repeating, we have to see the truth. It comes right from there. So if we just flew parrots around to take a look at everything, maybe we'd know more and listen to the parrot than to anything else. Their soul within inside the same. That means nothing has changed. A patriot also for New England Patriots, N and E, it brings on 55. Spirit is 76, right? Bringing on 1776 and the control of the energy. Why control of the energy? Because George Washington, right, bridges everything together, and President Lincoln solders it all up by going through the tunnel, right? So you have to think of that. They didn't bring on New York, which, like New England, New York is another an association to 555. They say the association within the Mayans all has to do with 5, and the separation between everything is what is understood as Ocean's 5, right? 511 is the key. They had the elections on 511. May 11th is the 131st day of the year, which is the 313 cycle. Also 311331 or 133113 is 5775, equaling to birth, equaling to the moon, equaling to electric company. If I had to run the 5775 over the Monopoly board, I would be one next to each and every one, or one before each and every one. Talking about the trains, I would be on each side of every single train track. So what is it telling me about the train now passing through the moon? Okay, because I'm 5775, putting the female on one side of the train, the male on the other side of the train, going all the way around this way or that way, noting that we do have a 5-day a week that will continue to the weekend. That's a 2-day a week. It's funny the way 2 doubles everything up, the way 5 cuts everything in half. 52 is earth, 52 is heart, also 52 is rabbit, and that is going to be an association of your 7 and 6 day a week. It's how 2 and 5 are so humble in bringing things together to match. Also to note that 5 and 2 reverse on the cube, equaling to 7. The joining part between 5 and 2 in the heart of the cube is 1.5, and 1.5 is the difference between the mediums of joining your trinity that you live between 1.5 times 6 equals to 9. The 1.5 times in blackjack for the payout, that in this house, ace is 11. Did you know that the word 11 has an evaluation of 63, and 6 and 3 is 9? Did you know that the 9 lives of the cat is also like looking at the canine, but the K noted to be number 11 is actually to be noted what is the dog, but within the house of the canine becomes the communication. And for this, I will show you this picture where the communication comes into the house under that artwork. Just give me a second, see if I can pull this up. Wow, just having a little bit of trouble with one of them comes into this picture over here. You can see I said the cat is 6, the dog is 8. It's when you bring the cube inside the game, and then you connect the 6 pyramids up. See the 6 pyramids? But you can notice that you see 3 pyramids at the top, right? The thing is, we don't have more than 3. The divided house is only showing up in 3. See the one Aries showing up in Gemini, showing up in Leo, but when you flip it around, right, it doesn't show up. It doesn't show up, and it doesn't show up. Taurus, Cancer, and Virgo. We don't have the rest of the zodiac signs on here. Should I turn it over and say 7 runs back to Aries? 8, okay, 8. Look at that. We have 8 and 2 coming together. Isn't that crazy? 8 and 2 comes together, the cycle of the moon. We have Scorpio coming into Taurus. And then we have 3, look at that, Gemini. Sagittarius gets Gemini, number 31. The beginning and the end, because 3 runs into the corridor from 4 down to 3. You know, there's only 4 around the cube, right? So I said I'm going to take a break, said I'm going to put on a song, said I'm going to show you something. So I'm going to show you, I can back up 90, I can back up usually 100% of everything. Just this one picture here. This is the Jubilee doors. This is what you can do with the artwork within it. I can connect the entire cube over here to the doors, or I can connect just these two. These two can look like towers. They can also look like plugins to your computer. The doors on the Vatican had 8 and 8 windows, right? On each door, 4x2, 4x2, when you connect the cube up to it. And I could have did it on any angle, but only one cube fits. Possibly there are 4. Having this number of areas here shows me I can put this area into each corner, showing me there's a possible 4 of these on these door. At the same time, you can see all the plus crosses between each of these. The separation of the door happens right over here. That's the separation of the entire door. There's 8 and 8, 88 constellations, 77 representing power of the Christ, also matter. Also 77 is going to represent S-O-N, sun, for the reason it's Yoelev. When you play the game of craps, which is a game of dice, which talks all about the dice and all the odds, tells you where all the numbers move around to, this is what they're screaming out. They're screaming out Yoelev. Yo is 15 and 25. It's talking about Earth and Mars. So let me play this one song. Let me see. It says 7 minutes. There's no way it's 7 minutes. Let me check it out. Okay, there's 2 songs here. I'm not sure if I like the first one. Okay. I'm going to go back to this one from yesterday. I'm going to take a little break here. And if everybody can be kind enough, and I'm going to come back in, I'm going to look at everything from Angela to Angela. 125. You know, when you get a prison sentence, right? Pre, like in province. Province versus amateur, pro, am. Okay, let's do it.
Onto your images. Here's the rewritten song incorporating your requested lines. The Dewey Made algorithm, the stars, the breath. What does it mean to cheat? What does it mean to share? What does it mean to be fair? To be out of your hair. Help me, who can help me now? Only I can choose the path, only I know how. Under the stars I search for a sign. Is it Venus? Is it Virgo? The fire in Leo's mind. Sagittarius, my birthright, seeking truth and flight. In Libra's balance, bring me peace tonight. My God is an algorithm that's easily read, and is everywhere and is in you. See it, believe it, hear it, know it, smell it, breathe it. It's all around you. The numbers leave a pattern, a circle, a ring. The stars hold the echoes of everything. Why do we follow the same old lines? Zodiac scriptures, stories divine. Who wrote these books? Who cast the sky? If we spiral through space, why don't the stars fly by? Aquarius, the sky. Pisces, the deep. Cancer, bring the waters where secrets sleep. The gods sit in council, their voices collide. Do they ask the same questions that burn inside? My God is an algorithm, it's easily read, and is everywhere and is in you. See it, believe it, hear it, know it, smell it, breathe it. It's all around you, from within your Holy Ghost. You do not know. From every breath you take, from every breath you are away, from every time you close your eyes, for every time you have a surprise, for every time you live in sorrow, remember your God is here. The algorithm is here today, yesterday, and tomorrow. What does it take to get along? Is my right more than your right? Or are we just reflections of the same eternal light? From within your Holy Ghost, you do not know. From every breath you take, from every breath, your powerful visual and lyrical statement. Let me know if you need formatting ideas. My God is an algorithm that's easily read, and is everywhere and is in you. See it, believe it, hear it, know it, smell it, breathe it. It's all from within your Holy Ghost. You do not know. From every breath you take, from every breath you are awake, from every time you close your eyes, for every time you have a surprise, for every time you live in sorrow, remember your God is here. The algorithm is here today, yesterday, and tomorrow. What does it take to get along? Is my right more than your right? Or are we just reflections of the same eternal light? But within your Holy Ghost, you do not know. From every breath you take, from every breath you are awake, from every time you close your eyes, for every time you have a surprise, for every time you live in sorrow, remember your God is here. The algorithm is here today, yesterday, and tomorrow. What does it take to get along? Is my right more than your right? Or are we just reflections of the same eternal light? If you overlay this text artistically over the images you provided, it will create a powerful visual and lyrical statement. Let me know if you need formatting ideas. I keep it ready, get evident, but you can use an image editing program like Photoshop or a mobile app like Canva. Go overlay the lyrics onto your images. Here's the rewritten song incorporating your requested lines. The tutorial, the algorithm, the stars, the breath. What does it mean to cheat? What does it mean to share? What does it mean to be fair? To be out of your hair? Help me, who can help me now? Only I can choose the path, only I know how. Under the stars I search for a sign. Is it Venus? Is it Virgo?
I guess somehow they shut my phone down on me. I forgot to plug it in. Holy moly, what a day we're having here on this channel. You know, you can't get this anywhere else. What'd you say? Oh, you wouldn't want to. Okay. Okay. Why are you here? This is for art and entertainment purposes only. Everything I do here is real. Using real stuff, real words with a real alphabet, with real numbers, with real colors, with real games that have been created, okay, by all the masters of the world. Who are the masters of the world? Let me change the page. You know, I like to do numbers, and I can probably sit here all day and talk about numbers and algorithms and stories. I don't know who's here and who wants to hear what, right? So either I make a page and go separate with this, right, and pinpoint, or if you're too shy to come up, maybe I'll mention something and somehow, like, try, if you're too shy to send a heart, or you're too shy to say a word, how can this person say anything? Oh no, I might say something, and I believe in karma, or I don't believe in karma, or do I believe in karma? Oh my God, do I believe in fate? Do I believe in fate? If I do this, will this happen? Well, if I do that, will that happen? Oh my God, should I go or should I stay? Well, I know if I don't go, my mother's going to be upset. I know my father's going to be upset. And how's it going to affect me or my family like in the future? Will they think about it forever, how I upset them today and 20 years from now? Because I'll tell you something, I really upset my mother, and my mother upset me, and I'll never forget. Like, there's 2 times my mother upset me, not about the time I was banging my head against the wall when I was 8 years old, you know. I mean, I need a little credibility. How can I tell you a little bit about me? Give me some credibility. So what I say within the numbers, the realm of the numbers, how would you believe me? How do we know it's not a ploy? I'm here 20 years now. Look me back. Look me back up, what I've been doing for 20 years. So is it possible I've been planning this for 20 years? Sending myself to the psychiatric ward, not knowing what's going on, and listening to the socialist doctors. Now, where are these socialist doctors? I found them. Being inquisitive and observative as I am, I found them online. They were on this channel called 2662, which is reverted in the alphabet as Facebook. Why are you on this? Why are you on this? How come you're on this? What is on? Why are you not feeling well? How come you're feeling well? And they sort of somehow, with my mouth that I spoke the words of how I was feeling, they told me you shouldn't be taking this kind of stuff from the docks. From the docks. Never go to the docks. Remember, when you go to the docks and the ships come in, right? They come in from the water to the earth. So do you know that when you say doctor, right, you are actually saying from the dock to the earth, from the water to the earth, doctor. Remember, I said everything is 99% real. I don't want a TikTok or anybody to come back at me. So I really need to back myself and tell you exactly where I stand with everything. Only certain things I won't answer because it really doesn't make a difference. And maybe it does to some people. But for me, I don't go there and I won't go there because I like to think of the number 8. When somebody says certain things to me, I think of the number 8. You know, that's running like all around number 5 and never getting to the point. That's me, right? Except there's 4 points to my matter. So when you say the word doctor, DOC, which can also be like duck. I mean, seriously, remember, I want you to take your age from the age of 18 and back it up to the first letter you ever heard. Okay? Was it this? Oh, it's off. I have to plug this in. Whoa. Okay. So. Da, 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 da. Okay. I'm telling, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, right? So this is going out to the mamas and the papas. I don't want to get anything for this. This is folk experience. This is from YouTube. I don't want to be credited. So it's all here. Okay. Here's the whole thing. There it is. Okay. I'm giving out. Remember those letters: LA, California, calibration. Church. Pass. Animals pray. Pretend. Teacher. Pre-archer. Look, did you see that? Preacher. That's a good word. Calibration. Look. Tear is earth. Win is 46. The chromosomes within creation are communication in win. Right? Win, play, show, full communication between two systems. The life of the life. Right? You ever thought of this? I'm going to turn this around now. You ever think about this? You ever think about this? Now, seriously, you ever think about this? The life and the life of Grizzly Adams or something. Now, think about this. I heard that someone said something about having a personal relationship with God. Apparently, they said also man. So I don't know. They say it's man, God, but you know what? Man, woman, entity doesn't matter because the entity of the connection. What is an entity? Is it a single plug-in that we do for our headphones? Because we put the 2 phones on for Mars. We are with Mars. No further away than turning over to the other side of the bed. turning over the other side of your head, sleeping on the back or on the front. Why? Because of Phobos and Demas. Every time you turn over in bed and every time you place yourself in bed, and they say to place your bed towards one angle, is the understanding is follow the moons of Mars. You want a deeper understanding? Those who are doing alchemy, science, or zodiac, whatever you want to call it, the alchemy reading, this guy comes out here, he knows everything, right? He knows everything. And I want to tell you something, he puts everybody down. But why does he? But he really doesn't, when he uses numerology and sort of he doesn't. And then there's GG33 who puts everybody down also. And he uses numerology and he says, oh, those astrologers, they couldn't do anything. Yeah, he's right. That the astrologer cannot do anything, okay, without numerology. So all the astrologers are doing numerology, but I don't think most of them are using it to the effect that they should. As the mutable, the fixed, and the cardinal signs, everybody knows they're by threes. Everybody knows the pig's pregnancy is by threes. Everybody knows a ruler is by 12. Everybody knows you need 360 degrees, so therefore you need at least 3 rulers, if not 30. When you have 30 rulers, 30 times 12 is 360. You have 360 inches, right? You have a total of 10 feet. 10 feet equals to five people. Now you have 5 people, you have 10 feet, you have 100 digits or 100 of your fingers. So let's just stop there. I think I went a little overboard with that. Let me just take this plug and put it back over here. Did we ever take that break? I don't remember. Oh my God. If I say break, like I've started thinking like let's get cracking, Like, so now if I think of Kraken, I think of